Hey friends, it's Andrea, and I want to thank you for being here. Welcome you to the Mighty Little Podcast class. I'm super delighted that we're going to be doing this together, and I just wanted to let you know a few things before we start. First, I just wanted to give you the gift of my voice and a little video with me, so that you feel, if you don't know me already, that you feel a little more connected to me. And I also want to say how excited I am for you because podcasting is so much fun. In fact, it's probably one of my favorite things that I've ever done in my business over the last 20 years was start this podcast. And it feels like the labor of love, actually, that my blog felt like when I started it in 2003. So a long time ago, like 15 years ago. And it's actually started as a way to rejuvenate my blog. I thought, I'm tired of writing right now. I'm tired of writing about myself. And what can I do? And I thought, if I start a podcast, I can interview other people and then it'll be about them and not me. Phew. So that was part of the impetus. The other thing that inspired me is that years ago at a creative retreat that I used to go to every year on the Oregon coast, this really lovely group of women and colleagues, they were saying to me, Andrea, you should have a radio show. And I was like, what do they mean a radio show? Like, I'm not in radio. Like, I don't know what they're talking about. And this was right before podcasting became what it is today and really popular and really accessible. And even the podcasts I was listening to, like This American Life and like The Moth and that kind of thing, mostly storytelling podcasts, were more like radio shows like that you would hear on NPR or something. So anyway, like 5 years later, I was like, oh, that's what they were talking about. So yeah, it's been super joyful for me. I'm excited for you. I want to encourage you in every possible way. So as this course unfolds, please ask me questions and let me know what it is that you need. And I also want to say that really what I'm offering you is my hand to hold as we go through this process together, because there are tutorials online that where you can figure out how to start a podcast. It's not super rocket sciencey or anything. However, what I'm going to offer you is my hand and a community of people, and we're all going to do this together. And also, what I want to offer you is a little bit of a deeper understanding of what the message will be in your podcast, your why. You've probably heard of the TED Talk with Simon Sinek about your why. And so I want us to understand in a deeper way who we're talking to, what our message is, and just really what's driving us. And maybe what's driving us is just purely delight, purely some very specific interest in a very specific thing that we want to talk about and be talking to other people about. It's all welcome and great. But anyway, all that to say, it's going to be my lens. It's going to be the superhero lens on looking at making a podcast. So the things that matter to me, how to connect deeply with somebody that you're interviewing, how to infuse story into it, that kind of stuff. So in addition to the nuts and bolts and all that stuff. So what else do I want to say? The other thing I want to say is that I'm not going to give you too much information or too much homework or too much of anything. I believe in brevity. I believe that we're all really busy and we're all pretty overwhelmed, and it's a pretty noisy world out there. And I'm going to give you just enough inspiration and just enough information so that you can hit the ground running and actually create what you came here to create. So, yeah, I just want to say that right out of the gate. I'm going to try to distill these things down really simply so that you're going to be like, really? That's it? And I'm going to be like, yeah, that's it. Like, do it, sister, right? And if you need something else or you have questions, there will be opportunities to ask. Let me see. I have this little list. If anything else I'm forgetting. Oh, and maybe most importantly, I just want to remind you that you have something to say and you have a unique way of saying it because you're you. And if you feel moved to create in this media, then it means it's yours. It's yours to create because you want it. People who podcasting is not for are not having the urge to podcast. So if you are having the urge, and if you are here, it means that this dream gets to be yours. It gets to find you. You get to create it. And it can be very tempting to think, well, other people have done it better and they're already doing it and there's already too many. It's like, blah, blah, there's already too many, blah, blah, blah. You get to do it how you do it. And I think as authentic as we can be and as uniquely ourselves as we can be will actually be the way that we get to have the most fun with it and distinguish ourselves and magnetize the right people to us, because we really don't need everyone to listen. We don't need the whole world to listen to us. We just need our people to listen to us and make a difference in their lives. And that's why I call it the Mighty Little Podcast, because this doesn't need to be the biggest podcast on iTunes. This is just your small for now, mighty creation that gets to find the people who are uniquely suited to hear from you. So with that, sending you guys lots of hugs and courage, and let's do it.